Welcome back to the Pyramid Earth channel. I've gotten a lot of questions in the last 2 weeks about this theory. Understandably, there are a lot of doubters. A lot of people who want to prove this wrong. Now, one of the first questions I received was, what are your professional credentials regarding this topic? Well, from the years of 1967 to 1994, I worked for the Aerospace Agency in Texas. My job there was to track flights in North America, Central America, South America, as well as Africa and the Middle East. Now, one of the things that first started bothering me was, if flights are to go a certain path, let us say the path of least resistance, then why do flights that are traveling from the Far East to the Far West avoid going through the North Pole? Well, it turned out to be a pretty easy explanation, as I tracked other flight patterns leaving from local airports going to Northern Europe, South Africa, and Australia. I noticed a pattern. The pattern had to do with turns of 90 degrees at certain points. Well, what is the relevance of 90 and 180 degrees? Do you remember grade 5 math class? Yes. These are the degrees of a triangle. Well, what's the significance of a triangle in the Pyramid Earth theory? Easy. A pyramid is quite simply 4 triangles and a square put together as a base. Why would no one allow us to go to the South Pole? Why do we not have any live feeds of the ISS or other things in space or satellites crossing over the South? Well, the answer is simple. They just don't want us to see it. Cover-ups are nothing new by the government and other organizations. One of the first organizations who created mass cover-ups and mass blaming was the Masons. Now, the Masons are particularly famous for their architecture. Why? All of their buildings, the front must face due north. Furthermore, the roofs and the inner angles of the houses are all at 90 and 100 degree perpendicular angles with a square base. The Masons have infiltrated all levels of the government and society. They control the oil companies. They control the government. They control most of what you hear and see in the media, except for independent broadcasts such as this one. Now, what's the significance of the Masons, you ask? Well, with this control, they were able to manipulate all levels of the government, as I previously mentioned. And in the first video, as I mentioned, the government doesn't like to be wrong. Why would they go to such lengths to cover things up? Think of this. One of the most famous Mason outcasts was John Smith of Mormon fame. Well, what happened to him when he said he had discovered tablets that not only showed the Pyramid Earth, but that some beings, as mentioned in the first video, were in communication with him? He met a grotesque and grisly end at the hands of local villagers. He was tarred, he was feathered, he was thrown out of a 3rd-story window to his death. Cover-ups like this involving high-level government officials is nothing new and followed us into the 19th and 20th centuries. Well, who, you may ask? The last non-Masonic and Catholic president was John Fitzgerald Kennedy. We all knew what happened there, what happened to him. Who would be the next one? Is Donald Trump involved with the Masons? Does he have any connection to the all-seeing eye? I want you, my American comrades, pull a $1, $5, $10, or $20 bill out of your wallet and please take a look at it. What's at the top of it? That's right. It's a pyramid. And what's at the top? It's the eye. The eye that will be watching you, watching I, watching the broadcast, and most likely watching all the views on this channel. I have some more compelling proof coming your way. Every week to 2 weeks, I plan to deliver more information. This is Pyramid Earth, signing off.